Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Cordant, and today we're going to be starting a new playthrough series in the channel for Tyranny. Now, for some context about this game, Tyranny is made by Obsidian Entertainment, so the same people that made Pillars of Eternity 1 and Pillars of Eternity 2. And if I remember correctly, this game was created and released between those two games, so after Pillars 1 and before Pillars 2, but as far as I am aware, this is set in a completely different universe, different lore, different characters, all that stuff. So it should be a completely different experience, and I have heard a lot of very good things about this game. I have never played it, so it's going to be a blind playthrough, unlike some of, the majority of my playthroughs, I guess. We're going to be playing this game with all DLCs installed. I wasn't even aware they existed, but in the comments somebody told me that they existed, so I picked them up. We have Tales from the Tears, and we also have Bastard's Wound. The reviews for the DLCs were kind of a little bit iffy, but since I'm gonna do the playthrough, I might as well just do it with everything installed and see how it goes. Before we begin, I was looking over a couple of options here, nothing too special. I think at most I looked over the auto pause options, and we have combat auto slow, we have enemy spotted and stop party movement, and I also put on low HP. When anybody drops below 25% health, we get an automatic pause. It's pretty much a default, except I also put this one here. I don't think there are traps in this game, because there's no option for traps, which kinda makes me happy. And other than that, I enabled Gibbs, just because I think it could be fun. Big heads. Thanks Josh, I don't know what this is, I'm not gonna use it, I don't think. Drop the music volume a little bit, but if you guys find that the music volume is too loud in the video or it's covering my voice too much, let me know and I'll try to adjust it. Okay, so without further delay, we're gonna go for a new game. So new game settings. Since this is gonna be my first time playing the game, I'm not gonna go for Trial of Iron, because, blind playthrough with permadeath doesn't seem like a very wise approach to the game. And I'm also not gonna be using expert mode, because I have no idea of how the skills work, their areas of effect and stuff like that. So I wanna see everything before I actually try playing with this on. In terms of difficulty though, I am gonna be playing on the highest one, Path of the Damned, and see if we can, get through it. So, Path to the Damned difficulty, no expert mode, no Trial of Iron. You also have New Game Plus here. Interesting. Okay. Let's see what this is about.
For over 400 years, the armies of Kairos the Overlord have swept across the known world. All who stood against them fell before their might. Even the Archons, women and men of immense power, were forced to kneel, chained to the Overlord's will. Now Kairos' final conquest has come to our corner of the world, and two of the Overlord's armies compete for the honor of taking our lands. The elite disfavored, and the teeming horde of the Scarlet Chorus. The voices of Narad, spy master and archon of secrets, guides the fierce and undisciplined masses of the Scarlet Chorus.
I love the music.
With each battle, the Scarlet Chorus grows stronger, as the defeated are given a simple choice: serve or die. Graven Ash, Archon of War and the Overlord's most loyal general, leads the disfavored. Though small in number, Kairos' ironclad legion has never met true defeat in open battle. Watching over the two generals is Tunon, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, eldest of Kairos' minions. Tunon brings Kairos' laws to newly conquered lands. Aided by the Fatebinders, judges and executioners of the Overlord's laws. You were among the youngest of the court of Fatebinders when Kairos' armies came to our lands. How could we have known that the fate of thousands would rest in your hands?
So I'm playing as a Fatebinder. So we're essentially... So something I knew about the game before playing it is that supposedly we are playing as the bad guys. Or part of the bad guys in some kind of capacity. And, okay, so we have Kairos being the big bad overlord that's conquering the world. We have two different types of armies or factions, right? We have the Scarlet Chorus, which seems to be some kind of like a more of a horde type of approach. And then we have the Disfavored, which are more elite, disciplined fighters. I forgot the names of the generals already. But, okay. So, roll. In the Northern Empire where you were born, men enjoy equal protections under the laws of the Overlord Kairos. Name out of legend, for centuries the Overlord has consolidated power, sending vast armies to soil the entire realms. The most powerful mystic the world has ever seen, Kairos can issue edicts, magical proclamations that level cities, spread pox, sunder the lands, or change the course of seasons. So these edicts are like what? Are like the magic? Yeah, okay, magical proclamations, sure. The Archons, the masters of magic throughout the known world, bow to Kairos, and the Overlord readily destroys any Archons unwilling to kneel. These sorceresses and madmen lead the Overlord's armies in near-endless conquest. So he forced them to kneel and now they lead their armies, is that it? Okay. As the realms of the known world fall to the Overlord, these captured territories are divided up amongst the Archons to manage. Able to deliver suffering and woe to every corner of Terratus, that's the name of the world I guess, without leaving the capital, few have seen the Overlord in person. Though Kairos' name is the single most recognized name in the world, only the Archons can say what the Overlord looks like. Okay. In the certain lands of tiers, only men may own or captain ships, but real estate is restricted to women. Okay. Men may lease, but durable ownership of the land in the tiers always passes to eldest daughters or sister. Most sons enter their father's profession by their mid-teens. Those without a profession or family lands to work can find purpose by pledging service to one of the Overlord's mighty Archons. Criminals, derelicts, and others are often conscripted into the armies of the Archons. If a child cannot forge his own skein... What is skein? He will certainly find one in battle. Let me just check if this is an English word that I'm not familiar with or if it's actually part of the game. A flock of wild geese. I don't think this is it. A length of rope yarn. Okay, I'm not sure what this is. A loosely called length of... Okay, sure. Okay, so character creation. We're gonna be playing as male. I can be medium. I'll be tall and skinny, I guess. Doesn't matter too much, but sure. Appearance. Now, I actually prepared something for this. So let me see if I can get this working the way I want to before I spoil it, I guess. But what is this? This is just a facial hair. Now we have the hair, which also looks fine for what I want. What is this? Ah. I like this one. Like, upset.
That wasn't so hard. My wounds are slowing me down. See that? Flawless! You learn something every day. This'll be fun.
I guess I'll go for sneaky. Although, I will not be playing as sneaky. I am gonna be playing as Edwin Odesseron, yes. But of course, what else? Okay, so history. How did you join Kairos' army? Okay, this is this just lore, or does it give me any kind of bonuses? Today you are a Fatebinder, agent of the Archon of Justice. You are by no means free, but as a warrior scholar deputized with discretionary powers to interpret and execute the laws of the Overlord Kairos, you are freer than most. One does not apply to be a Fatebinder. One is called by Tunon, the Archon of Justice, and to decline is death. This is the guy we heard about in the beginning, right? Tunon the Adjudicator is the Archon of Justice, ruler of the conquered realms and arbiter of disputes. Oldest of the Archons sent to conquer the Tiers, Tunon speaks with Kairos' authority. His true appearance remains hidden behind an iron mask, the face of judgment. Tunon is an impartial, sober creature wholly obsessed with justice and order. Though assumed to be a powerful combatant, Tunon rarely strays from his throne room, entrusting his court of Fatebinders to act as his eyes and ears, as well as judges, juries, and executioners. Millions of men and women live in the dozens of realms ruled by the Overlord. How do you stand out from amongst this teeming mass of desperation and insignificance and gain the Archon's notice? Okay, so I'm not gonna go through all of this. I feel like these are mainly flavor options. And I'm gonna be playing as a mage, so I'm either gonna be playing as a guild apprentice, intelligence, mages, okay, so we can either have a guild apprentice or a war mage. Accomplished casters and warriors. So this kind of feels like more of a battle mage, like a, you know, a fighter mage type of deal. I'll go for the guild apprentice because I'm going to be focusing more on magic. This is something that I always like to do when I'm playing a new CRPG. For me, I always go for a spellcaster, especially an arcane spellcaster. And I've also received a lot of comments before starting the playthrough of people advising and suggesting that I play a spellcaster, because apparently the magic system in this game is quite unique and fun. So I'm very much looking forward to that. So yeah, guild apprentice. Oh, sorry. So yeah, deeply proud of your intelligence, your parents always knew you were too smart for a life spent with your hands in the soil. Looking to secure a better future, your parents struck a bargain with the 7-3 Guild, a small magical order willing to teach you letters, numbers and magic if you proved capable. For several years you learned much from the mages, mastering reading and writing faster than the rest, and eventually learned the basics of mystic theory and spellcraft. Your magical studies came to an abrupt halt when the voices of Nerat, known in his official capacity as the Archon of Secrets, the voices of Nerat is equal parts genius and madman. Oh, I think this is the leader of the Scarlet thingy, the Horde one. Rumors abound that he can steal the minds of others, though few, if any, are alive to confirm as much. The subjects of interrogation are never heard from again, and the Archon is able to recall the memories of his victims with startling accuracy. He is the inconsistent leader of the Scarlet Chorus, that's it, vacillating between commanding from the vanguard and directing his armies in absentia. Despite his strange methods, no one doubts that the Voices of Nerat is an accomplished strategist, even suggesting that his madness stems from thinking hundreds, perhaps thousands of steps ahead of his enemies. Okay, so my studies came to an abrupt end when that guy, Archon of Secrets, deemed the guild a peacetime distraction that must be disbanded for the upcoming war, its mages assigned to proper armies. While your peers went on to other guilds, your mind was seen as too valuable to be wasted on the armies. Instead, your life was claimed by Tunon, Archon of Justice. Okay, so I became a Fatebinder instead of just somebody in the army. Primary expertise. You were trained in the following combat style. Now, this obviously is going to matter, right? So we have parry, athletics, dodge, subterfuge. Okay, that's probably for rogues. Bows. And then we have magic. So shock spells are going to be lightning magic, I guess. Mages skilled in shock magic can frequently interrupt their enemies, preventing them from executing their attacks. Sorry, had to drink some water. As I'm sure you've noticed, my voice is still not in its best shape. And what do you get? Charged Fist, long cooldown, shock damage. We push, which is cool, I guess. 8 control lightning. What is this? Character's ability to draw and control spells that use the sigil of lightning. Higher skill values increase the chance of hits and crits. So it's like perception in Pillars of Eternity. Magic Staff. Effectiveness of attacks using a magical staff. Higher skill values lead to more accurate attacks, increasing the chance of critical strikes. The accuracy of magical attacks is determined by both the magic staff skill and the magic skill used by the equipped staff. Is this for melee combat or for some kind of staff magical attacks? Then we have dodge, sure. And lore is used to decipher information and put together clues from fragments of information. This skill is critical for magic users who wish to learn new runes to power their spells. Lore is also used in dialogue to determine what you know about the history of the world or to impress others with your intelligence. Okay, so basically shock spells are damage and interruption. Frost Magic is an offensive school that focuses on slowing enemies as well as dealing cold damage. Okay, I like the slow effect. Especially if I can freeze. Leaving them frozen, yeah. Frozen Affliction. Same thing, right? Control Frost, okay. Vigor spells are a branch of magic that focuses on granting bonuses to yourself and your allies. So we start with Titan's Touch, gives Vitality and Might for 45 seconds. It actually lasts longer than the cooldown. I also think this game does not have a spell slot mechanic. You don't have to rest to cast spells. I think all you have is the cooldowns. Because this is buffing magic, and Atrophy is going to be probably debuffing magic. Drains the skills and attributes of your enemies, weakening their attacks and making them easier to kill. Removes Might and Vitality. Again, the duration is longer than the cooldown. Gather entropic energy and channel it into an enemy, sapping the target's might and vitality. Okay, so I feel like for me, for what I like to do typically is... Oh, I can pick two? No, I can only pick one. Okay, so I'm gonna pick Frost spells, I think. Because I like to have some damage coupled with control. No, I have two. Wait, what? Frost spells? Okay. Secondary expertise. You also is returning in this combat style. Atrophy. Okay. So I want control and damage, and I also want debuffing. This is kind of my preferred playstyle when I'm playing an arcane spellcaster in these games, especially on higher difficulties. Okay. Now, the character's colors, we're going to be following Mr. Edwin Odesteron here. So I'm going to be red for most of it. And the banner is gonna be the banner of the Red Wizards of Thay, of course. I'm wondering if it's gonna bug out, because most symbols are white. Or all symbols are white, but mine is red. I'm not sure if it's gonna affect something here. Yeah, I can't even change the background, right? Yeah, I can't. It's just this image and that's it. Oh, wait. I can do some interaction with it. Okay, this is the more visible one. I'll go with this one. Name. Whoops. Cordant. Attributes, what we have. This is different from Pillars of Eternity. We have Might, that much is similar. Physical strength of a character. Increased Might leads to more powerful attacks and stronger abilities, as well as increasing the Endurance defense. And this is? Resist attacks on the internal physical systems of the character. For example, poison, disease, stunned, etc. Defined by resolve and might. Okay. Kind of like saving throws. So, might at 10 gives us no bonuses and no penalties. And this part is percentage based, this part is static increase. Very similar to Pillars, this one. Finesse describes a character's physical and mental precision. Is used to determine accuracy of attacks and spells. So I do need this. As well as increasing Worn Armor's chances to reduce a hit type. A crit to a hit or a hit to a graze. Same thing as Pillars as well. Now, the accuracy is static amount. All attacks in Tyranny compare the attacker's accuracy value to one of 5 defenses. Parry, for melee attacks. Dodge, range attacks. This is important actually. So dodge only matters for range, not for melee. Okay. Endurance, body system attacks like stun and prone. will, mental attacks, and magic, attacks from spells and spell-like abilities. Accuracy is defined primarily by the attacker's skill with that type of attack, weapon skills for physical attacks, magic skills from... Okay. When an attack is made, the attacker's accuracy is compared to the appropriate defense on a target to determine how the magic roll will be modified. If accuracy is above target's defense, it will be more likely to result in a hit or a crit, less likely to result in a graze or a miss. I'm just trying to understand here. So there is also apparently a magic defense, which is the defense value versus my spell accuracy. Okay. Quickness. How often a character can use their abilities and spells in combat, reducing the cooldown durations. That's also very good for me. It's also percentage based. Vitality determines the character's physical health and their strength of personality. It also increases the will defense. Really? They tied will to vitality instead of wits? Very interesting. Wits describes a character's mental acuity, their ability to observe their environment and pick up on clues. Wits is used to increase spell strength as well as increase the magic defense. Recommended for you because of your training in frost and atrophy spells. Okay, makes sense. Makes our spells stronger. And resolve determines a character's ability to endure physical and mental challenges. Resolve is a primary attribute used to drive the endurance, will, and magic defenses. It also increases the duration of afflictions applied by the character. God damn it. This is weird. Because normally, I'm gonna be comparing to Pillars of Eternity, obviously, because it's, you know, same people made the game and whatnot. Because normally this would be something that you would get from intelligence, and resolve would be something very easy to kind of dump on an offensive character because you don't really need it. But in this case, it's actually important. And the game is, you know, suggesting these two. Now, from what I can see, the things I most care about are going to be finesse for accuracy, quickness for cooldowns, and then these two. God damn it, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Jesus. Because I want everything. Eesh, I don't like that. Oh, we cannot dump stats like you can in Pillars as well. Okay. How high can you go? You can go up to 18. Okay. Dude, I have no clue if this is a good thing to do or not. Okay, I'll go with this, I think. Strength of spells, I want more accuracy because I want to make sure that I land my spells. If I could, I would bring this up even more. Man, I don't like this, though. I'm kind of compromising here. Wits to strengthen my spells. Okay, wait. Oh, no. This is the... Okay, because in Pillars of Eternity, might also affects your spell damage. Not the case here. Okay, here it's only based on wits. Okay, this is only physical strength. Okay, this can be dumped then. Okay, so I have 2 more points. I'm gonna do... I'll do wits. Okay, so 14 finesse, 12 quickness, 14 wits, and 12 resolve for extra duration. Yeah, it's kind of a balanced build. One thing that in Pillars of Eternity you don't really have to worry too much about is min-maxing stats too much. And I feel like in this game it's even less relevant. Especially because they're also incentivizing you to not min-max too much. You cannot dump below 8. So yeah, I don't care about might at all, because I'm aiming to be in the back line, not in the front. And I'm not going to be doing too much physical damage. Finesse for accuracy, quickness for cooldowns, wits, resolve for duration, vitality, I don't care as well. Okay, let's see if this works. That's a lot of points, holy crap. Skills. We have magic staff. Effectiveness of attacks using a magical staff. Higher values lead to more accurate attacks, increasing the chance of critical hits. Okay, but the part that I'm curious about is they recommend this to me because of your training in frost spells and atrophy spells. But what does this actually mean? Okay, this doesn't change when I do this. Okay, they also recommend this. Higher skill values increase the chance of hits and crits, which extend the duration of atrophy penalties on enemies. Okay. Then we also have dodge and we also have lore. Okay. Seems to be critical for me. And dodge is obviously a nice thing to have, but doesn't feel that important. Don't care about these three. Don't care about any of this here. So, without really understanding how these things work yet, I'm probably going to distribute this a little bit. Base value 21. Then it says +7. Oh, okay. I get an extra points here because I have frost spells expertise. Okay, I'm gonna check on the wiki if magic staff affects the spells or only the actual physical attacks with the staff. Okay, it seems like it is relevant because apparently our spells are the power of our spells is based on our skill in that school as well as the magic staff. So I guess I'll do something like this, I don't know. So this should affect both of them, and then these here affect, you know, the equivalent one. I guess I probably would prefer to have more frost at the start. So 41 magic staff, 30 atrophy, 40 frost, and then 45 lore. I'm still not sure how lore is going to affect me too much. So we're going to find out. How do you want to continue? Conquest. Selecting the Conquest option will allow you to play through Kairos' Conquest of the Tiers, choosing how your character was involved in the invasion. This gives you the most control over the starting set of the game and how other factions will react to your character. Okay. Or bypass that phase. No. I want to go to Conquest.
All the world has fallen to Kairos, and now the Overlord's eye is on the Tiers, our home. The last corner of the world free of Kairos' reign. Two armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, march south from the Northern Empire, the last realm to fall to Kairos a century prior.
Okay, so it's interesting because the narrator seems to be part of a different faction from mine, right? She's part of the people being invaded, and I am the invader.
In the early days of 428, Kairos' armies arrive at the Gates of Judgment, the mountainous border that we Tiersmen so long believed unassailable. Unable to agree on a unified plan of defense, the various leaders of the Tiers sit and wait for each other to deal with the conquerors. Until it's too late.
That's stupid. Oh, I like this. Conquest. During the Conquest, you will decide your character's actions during Kairos' invasion of the Tiers, shaping the world through which you will adventure over the course of the game. Each choice you make affects your character and how major factions of the Tiers respond to you. Okay. Year 1 of Kairos' Conquest. I am loving this introduction, by the way. Oh, we're planning on the map. The Bastard City. It stood on the northern border between Kairos' empire and the Tears. Built upon a natural harbor at the crossroads between realms, the city was a nexus of commerce. To the Tears, it was the center of all wealth. To a northerner, it was little more than a backwater trading post. Its symbolic status as a gateway to the continent made it the natural first target in Kairos' military conquest. Circumstances were ideal for you to prove your worth as a soldier in Kairos' armies. Taking this city would send a message to the rest of the Tears. Kairos' will is insurmountable. Select a token in the map to begin. Infiltrated Tears. Both armies send their forces to prepare the way. Gates of Judgment. In the first major engagement of the war, Kairos' armies crossed the mountain and established a foothold. So what? Do I have to pick? I tend to prefer more of a sneaky approach, so I'm gonna, I guess, infiltrate rather than be on the major engagement. History would remember the Gates of Judgment as the first battle of the Conquest, but the real combat unfolded with advanced units of both armies preparing for the coming war. The Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus each had a plan to infiltrate the capital city. Which army did you join? Let me just go over this again. They are battle-hardened. The Disfavored are the elite legion in Kairos' army. They spearheaded the conquest of the younger realms, finding themselves always outnumbered but never outclassed. Led by the steadfast and dutiful Graven Ash, whom they follow with obsessive devotion, they are committed to imposing their interpretation of order upon the relative lawlessness of the Tears. The legion only tolerates northerners in their ranks, priding themselves on their high standards and cultural purity. Ah, so they're also a little bit racist, I guess. And the Scarlet Chorus is little more than a gang of thugs and their captive slaves. Rather than organized under commissioned officers, the Chorus follow a hierarchy seemingly ruled by whoever has the bravado to command and defend their position. At the head of this chaotic pecking order, the Archon of Secrets, better known as the Voices of Nerat, treats the Scarlet Chorus as personal army. The Scarlet Chorus often suffers tremendous losses after battle, only to swell in the aftermath when captured enemies and collateral prisoners are given the cruel opportunity to join or die. Okay, so I definitely prefer the approach of the Disfavored. Okay, so we can either aid the Disfavored Scouts or we can conscript enemy fighters for the Scarlet Chorus. I'm gonna go for Disfavored. You lent your skills to the elite Disfavored Scouts to capture a border garrison. Graven Ash insists that an early victory in the offensive would boost the morale of his troops and diminish the haughty overconfidence of the Southerners. The Oath-bound Scouts identified the modest border defense and collaborated on an organized attack that would leave the enemy uncoordinated and cut off from aid. You oversaw the preparations and offered your opinions on the strategy. When the clashing of swords and spears fell to silence, followed by the cheating of Disfavored Scouts, you were the least surprised. Okay, so we only get to pick one of the two options. Inside Agent, you found an ally within the city to prepare the way for the approaching armies. Or Containing the Fire. The Bastard City resident fire mages threatened the first leg of the conquest. Kairos' forces put a stop to their unchecked power. So this would be the sneaky approach, but containing fire mages does feel like an important thing to do before they wreak havoc. I'll go for this one. Your fiercest opponents in the Bastard City were the mages of the School of Wild Wrath. Too barbaric to use their power responsibly, the unbridled practitioners needed to be stopped. How did you trick the hot-tempered mages into their own undoing? By the way, we had the choice between fire and lightning magic, but we did not have for fire. But apparently there is fire magic in the game. We can lure them into a disfavored ambush or a meeting with the Voices of Nerat. Why would they meet? I'm gonna keep with the disfavored, I think. Oh, I can check what they do. You lured the hot-headed mages to an ambush where a legion of disfavored waited to spring a trap. The soldiers were hungry for a chance to subdue the arcane branch of Tyr's resistance. Or, you tricked the guild elders into meeting the Voices of Nerat, Archon of Secrets. The Archon was notorious for his cruel and mysterious interrogation techniques. The mages were never seen again. I'll still go for this favor. I don't really like the whole way of working of this army here. The mages took their more dangerous research outside of the bastard city walls. You sent a scout to sabotage a delicate ritual, which caused an explosion that injured or killed many senior practitioners. Enraged, recovery reduced by 25%. Okay. The survivors expended themselves on a chase through the surrounding hills, where the disfavored surrounded them and brought them to heel. The few that survived the attack were conscripted by the Scarlet Chorus. Okay. So even though we're picking from one army or the other, they're actually collaborating, right? Because we gave them our prisoners. Betrayal of the Bastard City. Your tactics of infiltration placed you in the Bastard City ahead of the main armies. Your work softened the city defenses for the arrival of Kairos' forces, but you wanted a decisive gesture that would give your allies a meaningful advantage. How did you assist in the fall of the Bastard City? So we can duel the city marshal, incite a riot, or spread fear through assassination. Oh, but I get stuff here. You challenge the commander of the Bastard City's defense to an honorable fight to the death. The disfavored wished to spare soldier lives for the battles ahead and civilian lives for occupation. We would gain Warrior's Respite. 1 per encounter, self, minus 50% damage for 12 seconds. That's awesome for a fighter. And we get health recovery. Oh no! My damage is reduced. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, it's still a heal. Spreading the word of Kairos, you converted the poor and this is cut. And disaffected into a hidden army of the Scarlet Chorus. Once it has settled, the army wished to bolster their troops with these sleeper cells. Searing Palm. Fire damage. Okay. Mage Fire Affliction. Gather heated energy into your hands and release it into a foe. The target ignites in flames, burning over time. I like that. Or, keeping to the shadows, you limited the leaders of this Bastard City one by one. Concealing Shadows. Plus 100% graze deflection for 12 seconds, minus 100 accuracy. Plus 200 dodge, plus 200 parry. Okay, now this is clearly for a tank kind of character, right? Create a cloud of obscuring shadows and dust. For a short duration, enemies that use physical attacks against you have a significant decreased chance to miss. My attacks will also suck. Okay, I'm gonna go for the magic one. In Searing Palm. It didn't take much to convince the Bastard City's downtrodden that Kairos was the superior power. You armed them with weapons and knowledge of a signal you would raise when the time was right. As the armies appeared outside the walls, you ignited a spark that fanned their anger into a full-scale riot. The chaos they spread in Kairos' name weakened the city to such an extent that its inevitable fall was but a formality. Something to be said about this. I think if I was just playing for the role-playing aspect, I would have either gone for the disfavored or the Kairos symbol for the assassination. I think the assassination would have been the best option. But since they show me what I get, this is going to be my choice. Okay, so the city fell. The Bastard City settled into a new state of normalcy, with every tower displaying Kairos' banner. Your name was whispered alongside rumors of a decorated career to come. The armies divided into two fronts and migrated south. Two nuns, this is the adjudicator and ruler of the Fate Binders, right? Yeah. Sent word that you were to join the next frontier of Kairos' conquest, either as judge and overseer of the settlement of Lethian's Crossing, or as a war advisor with the armies advancing to the realms of Apex. So I can advise or I can be part of the war effort, is that it? No, I mean, I can advise the war effort or I can oversee a settlement. Overseeing a settlement doesn't sound very exciting. So I'm gonna go for the realm of Apex as a war advisor. What's it say? The troops of the mountain realm of Apex stood idle in the safety of their valley, biding their time as their neighbors in the Bastard tier fell. In the second year of war, a joint force of the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus crossed over the mountains to take control of the tier's central valley. Deposits of iron made the settlements of Lethians Crossing a strategic war asset. Kairos sent to forge-bound smith mages of exceptional skill to establish a flow of weaponry. Tunon the Abjudicator sent one of his fate binders to ensure the enforcement of Kairos' law. Okay, I'll go for this one then, yeah. Year 2 of the Conquest. Yeah, I love this section of the game. The mountain nation of Apex, ruled for generations by the queens of House Vendrian, stood at the heart of the tiers. No army could bypass the landlocked realm without leaving their flank exposed to attack. By the second year of the war, the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus had pushed deep into the tiers. Elements of both armies were dispatched to conquer Apex. Two non assigned you to accompany them, tasked with bringing Kairos' law into territory, as well as keeping an eye on both armies. Okay, so we have the Battle of Edgering Pass. The Archon of Stone's assault was perhaps too successful. Or Denial of Strength, a new school of mages presents problems and opportunities. Mages. I'll go for mages. A school of water mages loyal to the Tiersman posed a substantial threat. The disfavored wished to annihilate the school, while the Scarlet Chorus insisted on capturing the mages, wishing to learn their craft. I think it would be a benefit to learn their craft. All mages had a chance to surrender before the war, and trying to capture the enemy would lead to needless losses. You side with the Scarlet Chorus, ordering the mage elders taken alive for interrogation. But it says chance to surrender. But it's slaughtering, so yeah, I'm gonna capture them. I don't know what it means to side with both of them at the same time, but I'm gonna side with the Scarlet Chorus on this one here. Though countless lives were lost taking the mages into custody, the Scarlet Chorus praised your name as they dragged the beaten elders of the school to the voices of Nerat's tent. As a wave of screams and incoherent pleas reached their crescendo, the Scarlet Chorus soldiers outside cheered for their Archon. The disfavored adjourned to their camp in grim silence, claiming the chorus lacked the will and desire to fully wipe out all traces of the enemy school. I think it makes sense to learn their craft, honestly. A captive captain. Kairos' forces debated over the fate of an enemy captain. Or poisoning the well. Poor communication led to the gruesome death of disfavored scouts. What? Hoping to break the siege, Scarlet Chorus agents poisoned the Apex water supply in secret. Days later, uninformed disfavored scouts died of illness. Outraged by the failure of communication, the disfavored demanded that the Chorus agents be turned over for them to punishment. Yeah, of course. When Kairos' forces captured celebrated enemy hero, the armies bickered over this fate. The disfavored wanted him set free to convince his peers of Kairos' mercy. The Scarlet Chorus wanted him flayed and staked as an example. Jesus Christ. I don't... What's it mean to pick one or the other? I don't know. I'll go with this one. It seems more relevant than this one. Let's use the captain to send a message. You agreed with the disfavored plan and sent the enemy captain back with a message. All those who surrendered or cooperated would be treated with deserving respect as subjects of Kairos' peace. Shocked by our clemency, the enemy captain vowed to deliver his message in full and paid his respects before departing for his encampment. Though typically more uncompromising, the disfavored praised your innovative thinking. The Scarlet Chorus despised what they viewed as resources wasted only to release a known enemy back into the wild. The fall of Apex. With the defeat of Apex and inevitability, the armies of Kairos met to discuss how to put an end to this stage of the conquest. Both armies agreed to send an offer of parley. Along with that acceptance, the enemy requested that you appear at the meeting. The enemy? Okay. Word of your fair dealings had apparently spread to their ranks. How did you orchestrate the surrender of the realm of Apex? Negotiate surrender, or challenge the queen. Through days of meditation, you negotiated the surrender of the valley to Kairos' forces, putting an end to further bloodshed. Or, taunting the Queen of Apex into striking you under a banner of truce, you baited the Queen of Apex into a duel and slew her, frightening her vassals into submission. I'm gonna go for the diplomatic approach here. Your former enemies were loath to part with their lands, but they were even more reluctant to continue a war they were losing at every turn. The Tearsmen are a stubborn lot, and despite their grim situation, it still took days of discussion and diplomacy to show them the madness of tenacity. On the third day of meditation, the rulers of Apex finally submit to your terms of surrender, putting an end to the war in the valley, and freeing up Kairos' forces to march deeper into the Tears. Okay. This is a long introduction to the game. The land of Apex finally rested in the hands of Kairos' forces. The Scarlet Chorus paused to revel in victory while the disfavored prepared for the next fight, affording themselves but an evening's rest. Kairos' armies radiated out from the conquered Citadel and worked their way across the Tiers. The disfavored and Scarlet Chorus aimed to dominate as much territory as possible in the coming year. Your distinguished reputation in Kairos' military left the choice of your next destination yours to make. Okay. So, Azure, Stalwart, or the Vellum Citadel. Kairos dispatched the Archon of Stone to subjugate the nation of Azure. With its easily defended position and rich military tradition, the realm of Stalwart was the most formidable realm in the Tiers. Or Citadel. His conquering gaze fell upon the Vellum Citadel, its treasures, its knowledge, its secrets. I'm gonna go for knowledge and secrets because, again, I'm playing as a mage. And mages like knowledge. You know, the Nether Scroll. For ultimate power. Year 3 of Kairos' Conquest. Alright. The Vellum Citadel was an archive... Should I be reading this? Was the Library Fortress, the largest archive of the written world in the Tiers. The School of Ink and Quill protected and maintained the archive of ancient lore for centuries, setting apart from the political upheavals of the younger realms as an enduring pillar of knowledge and culture. So it was an archive and library of massive scale. Its inhabitants were known as the School of Ink and Quill, a circle of mages that, centuries ago, carved out their own mountainous refuge on lands unsettled by the other major realms. Legend said that the Citadel housed a treasure trove of arcane knowledge. The Overlord spies infiltrated the school and confirmed as much. The time was ripe to send a detachment to the Great Library Fortress and force the scholars to yield to Kairos. Don't make me kill them, disfavored. Chain of Command, the peaceful surrender turned bloody. Or Song of Ensnarement. Siren's song ensnared some stealthy sages. A lot of S's. A detachment of Kairos' army marched on the Vellum Citadel expecting an orderly surrender. As they neared the main gates, a blast of arcane energy struck the commanders dead. Suddenly, the highest-ranking officer alive, Kairos' forces, looked to you... okay, so I was the highest-ranking. For next steps. The call weighed on your mind as it had an immediate influence on soldiers' losses. Order the Scarlet Chorus to attack. Order the Disfavored to advance. I would order them to attack. Sirin, Archon of Song, used their power to enthrall enemy mages who crept beyond the Citadel walls. After Kairos' forces rounded up the arcane practitioners, the Disfavored began executing the new captives before they could share dangerous knowledge. A crime under Kairos' law with the Scarlet Chorus. God damn it. But I want more knowledge. I'll go for this one, I guess. I don't want to go for that option. So I'm gonna send Scarlet Chorus to attack. They are the least important, members of the army, or the more expendable. You order the expendable Scarlet Chorus to attack, commanding the disorderly mob forward to give the elite disfavored a chance to withdraw. Though a costly maneuver in terms of lives lost, this assured the survival of the most capable and effective soldiers. Yep. Ever itching for a fight, the howling mob still recognized your maneuver, the sacrificial move that it was. Those from the Scarlet Chorus who ran headlong into battle made promises of a reckoning upon their return. Thankfully for you, hardly any of them limped back in one piece. Those few who survived made fevered whisperings their grievances, naming you as the villain to the Scarlet Chorus. Well, crap. I am making enemies. Lost to the mountains. Intercepted intelligence resulted in a lost, disfavored patrol. Plunder of parchment. A dispute over contraband parchment turned violent. An army captured a supply caravan overflowing with arcane books. When the disfavored started a bonfire of forbidden text, the Scarlet Chorus rescued the tomes from the flames and attacked. Why do the disfavored want to kill knowledge? I'm gonna grant half the scrolls to the Scarlet Chorus. You decree that the disfavored are welcome to burn their half of the plunder, but the Scarlet Chorus has rightful claim to the other half, provided you first review the text, first to eliminate any that touched on forbidden knowledge. But what is this forbidden knowledge? But yeah, I'll give it to them. What is the other option, by the way? Hidden enemy enclave and since scouts located never returned from their mission. The remaining disfavored soldiers demand that you send Scarlet Chorus to retrieve their scouts, but the Scarlet Claws flatly refuse to fall into the same trap. Okay, this is gonna be forcing my hand on the Scarlet Chorus again. I don't want that. I'm gonna give the Scarlet Chorus half of the scrolls for knowledge. The Scarlet Chorus agreed to your generous terms, and you set to pouring? Isn't there a U missing? Over every manuscript, or maybe pouring with a U is like pouring water on something. Before it was handed over, the work took several evenings, and you came away with a glimpse of truths better left unknown. Taking the burden upon yourself was the less risky alternative than disseminating it amongst Kairos' ranks, though it didn't help you sleep at night. I hope I gained some kind of magic knowledge from this. Edict of Fire. Food and morale dwindled as the siege party realized the enemy would win this war of attrition. Two non-sent word that Kairos' patience had run thin. The Overlord would cast an Edict of Fire on the enemy. The parchment arrived in a slender case of engraved iron. Written on it, the words of a spell powerful enough to destroy the Vellum Citadel. You had a choice of when to read the edict. Reading it at sunrise would offer your enemies no warning of the devastation to come. You could also wait until sunset, giving them ample time to flee or make amends. I'm gonna let them flee. God damn it, why are these people so... Opting to give the enemy no quarter, you proclaim the Edict of Fire at the first moment of dawn, granting the enemy no warning of destruction to come. Though the chorus insists your actions doomed their spies, the disfavored applaud your decision. Yeah, because we even have friendly people in there, right? Claiming they still had spies. Granting their request, you met with the enemy under a blue flag of peace and warned them of their doom, giving the chorus spies and the enemy a chance to run. Okay, I guess I don't want the enemy to run. And I'm kind of biased towards keeping my allegiance to the disfavored here. Opting to give the enemy no quarter, you proclaim the Edict of Fire at the first moments of dawn, granting the enemy no warning of destruction to come. Though the chorus insists your actions doom their spies, disfavored applaud your decision. Okay, so Kairos' most powerful magic is that of the Edict, commandments cast upon whole regions that can control and destroy man and nature alike. Once cast, an edict can rain fire, wither crops, demoralize cities, usher in endless night, or do whatever it is that Kairos envisioned. No known force, magical or mundane, can stop an edict, though each edict is often worded to include some condition or contingency that will see its end. Some edicts have been short-lived, delivering days of wanton catastrophe, just as many have lingered for centuries. Okay, let's go for this one. You read the edict as the new sun rose behind the Citadel, casting a long shadow in its wake. You were the last person to see that hall of knowledge the moment before devastation. The earth shook and red-orange light glowed in the foundation of the sprawling Citadel. Bubbling up from under the library, a torrent of lava heaved with explosive force, gushing from the windows and between loose bricks, melting hostile trenches in the surrounding land. The mages awoke to smoke and fire. For most it is already too late. Only a handful of bewildered mages escaped the smoldering collapse of the massive library fortress. Kairos' will be done. Damn. The Edict of Fire. The armies of Kairos left the devastation of the Vellum Citadel in silence. From that day forward, the Tears came to know the once noble Citadel as the Burning Library. This was an undisputed loss of resources, knowledge, culture, and life. I agree. I think it was a silly thing to do. But a message has been sent. The Overlord will not tolerate defiance. You didn't have long to rest before Tunon called you into service once more. You were one of the last to depart from the mountains, and as you journeyed off, you spotted a few campfires in the mountains. They were mere specks, dwarfed by the inferno, the last gasps of survivors, or perhaps looters from Kairos' armies, bored and daring enough to pick through the ashes. Conquest complete. You have reached the end of Kairos' conquest. Do you want to continue or erase your progress and start over? I'll stick with my decisions. Okay.
The year is 431, and Kairos' invasion has shattered all major opposition in the tiers. The Younger Realms, the Bastard Tier, the Free Cities. All who defied Kairos lay broken by battle, or bowed in surrender. The two armies of the Overlord, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, now control our lands. But our will is not yet extinguished. Not entirely. In the Valley of Vendrian's Well, those of us unwilling to bow to Kairos have banded together in defiance. Violating an oath of surrender from 2 years prior, we have staged a bloody uprising, murdering the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus garrison in a midnight assault.
I wonder if we can side with the Valley at some point, or if we're just stuck with playing evil.
With their main forces spread across the tiers, the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus redeploy to Vendrian's Well to crush the resistance. But months pass with no definitive battle. As disagreement and discord paralyze the Archons, we bide our time and wait for our message of insurrection to spread across the tiers.
I have to read this one once more. With their main forces spread across the tiers, the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus redeployed to Vendrian's Well to crush the resistance, but months pass with no definitive battle. Okay. Which Archons? The Kairos' forces or ours? Or the defendants? By the time I wait for our message or the interaction to spread across the tiers. Okay, so I think this is on our end. Like Kairos' forces are in disagreement and discord, so they're basically waiting for the message of interaction to spread across the tiers. Okay.
The Overlord is not amused, and Kairos has one message for the Archons. Crush the Oathbreakers, or die. Kairos backs this threat with an edict, a magical commandment that can slay all in the valley should the order be ignored. The honor of proclaiming this edict fell to you.
Oh no.
Sent across the mountains to Vendrian's Well, you carry the Overlord's edict to read before the Archons.
This would kill me as well, right?
As you finally make your way through the winding mountain passes into the valley, the ground trembles, and Kairos' magic seals the way behind you. You are trapped in Vendrian's Well, with Kairos' armies and the Oathbreakers. The only way to survive is to fulfill the terms of the Overlord's edict, in any way that you can.
The only way to survive, but if it's gonna kill everybody in the valley, I'm gonna die as well. I might be missing something. And they're calling the Oathbreakers the people, you know, resisting, because they had an oath of surrender, but they broke that. Okay. But I guess my goal is to fulfill the terms of the edict, which is interesting. Woo! Gameplay. I like the statue. Fatebinder Cordant, I presume. We've been expecting you. The music is kind of similar to Pillars of Eternity. Welcome to Tyranny. If it is your first visit to the world of Tyranny, watch for these windows to help you become familiar with the game. You can enable to... Okay. Okay, my friends, I think this will be the end of this episode. A lot of story, very cool introduction to the game, I will say. And now we're gonna meet Aurora, apparently. Okay, soon. Yeah, I like that my portrait actually worked. I was afraid this was gonna break. Hehe. precision. 1% precision, but I took 14 in finesse. Interesting. Okay, I'll check this out later. So yeah, I think a very cool start to the game. I'm very much excited to and looking forward to, you know, exploring the story some more. Something I want to mention. In the previous section of like the slides, I was talking about, oh, I wonder if I can side with the oath breakers at some point. Sometimes I'm just thinking out loud. Okay, I'm not asking for spoilers. I don't want spoilers for this game. I don't mind a certain degree of backseating if it is for something like, for example, let's say I'm not using my spells properly. Okay, like there's a better way of using this, or maybe I'm forgetting about a certain skill, or I didn't notice something. Feel free to comment on that so I can improve the gameplay and learn some more, but no spoilers in terms of story. Okay, that's all I'm asking for the playthrough. So yeah, as always, I want to thank you all for being here with me on the channel, watching some Tyranny. I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. I surely did. Any questions, suggestions, anything like that, leave a comment below. If you are enjoying the content, consider subscribing for more. Many more videos coming out soon, and it is also a free and easy way to support the channel. I hope to see you all in the next episode, and until then, stay safe everyone.